Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Thinking Collaboratively, Chapter 5. I want to take a moment to remind everyone to put on your Do Not Disturb and get ready to learn for about 10 minutes with me. Brianna, we can hear you good.
Yeah, sorry,
so I think we are ready. All right, ready to go. All right. So real quick, we're going to do a quality check. Tonight is February 12th, 2021 and 7:30 in the evening. Welcome, everyone, and welcome our virtual listeners. Everyone that is here live, if you can hear my voice adequately, if you can see the words quality check at the top of the slide, and you can see the recording icon at the top left of the screen, raise your hand, please. All right, great. Everybody lower their hands. Wonderful. So tonight we are covering Chapter 5, the community of inquiry in our book, Thinking Collaboratively. So hopefully everyone has read the chapter and is ready to roll. Okay, so real quick, we are going to do an icebreaker. This is going to be a real quick one, but I just want to know, does anyone have, or does everyone have, a digital community that they belong to? It can be a community of inquiry or one that you think is a community of inquiry. I just want to see what everyone has to say. So if you could type your community of inquiry or the digital community of inquiry, or just digital community in general, into the chat. I would love to see what everyone has to say. Virtual listeners, if you could just put it in the in your class summary. Yes, Facebook groups, great example. I have a lot too, and some of them wouldn't necessarily be community of inquiries, but I have some other ones, some fitness and running groups that I belong to that definitely are. Oh yeah, good example, instructional designer Facebook group. Wow, I'll have to look that one up. Awesome example. Okay, so tonight our learning objectives are going to be to examine what a community of inquiry is, discuss a community of inquiry framework, and demonstrate the understanding of the different elements within the community of inquiry. Okay, so first we're going to define what a community of inquiry is. So this term was coined by Lippmann in the 1980s, and it is basically a group of people who collaboratively participate in purposeful dialogue and reflection to create personal meaning and confirm shared understanding. So it's a group of people that get together to learn things, to discuss them, to debate them, so much like this class. Okay, we are a community of inquiry because we're going to discuss things, debate things. We're going to deepen our level of understanding. So next, we have this community of inquiry framework. So this was created to kind of help us understand what it takes to make a community of inquiry. So this is the process of forming a deep meaning and meaningful learning experience through the development of 3 interdependent elements: the social, cognitive, and teaching presence. So we're going to revisit that in our activity. So that is really important when you look at these rings right here. So they kind of all interlap, and you create this framework, okay, when you're in this community of inquiry. So it's really important that all the elements work together to create this community. Okay, so real quick, we're going to have a pop quiz. So, true or false, the three elements of the community of inquiry or COI framework are social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence. Thumbs up for true or thumbs down for false. And my virtual listeners, put this in your end of class summary, please. Exactly correct. It is true. Good job, guys. Okay, so inquiry is a collaborative dynamic. And like I said before, all of the elements are interdependent and they work with each other to create this community of inquiry. So they're psychological and social, but it also requires leadership. So when you look at a classroom context, that's going to be the teacher. In other contexts, okay, it may be a trainer, okay, and maybe the person leading the discussion, and maybe someone who just naturally steps up, okay, and kind of establishes that leadership role. But that's kind of required within this community of inquiry to keep everyone on track. Okay, so now we're going to keep this in mind and we are going to go into a little exercise here and we're going to do some breakout rooms. So I found this case study. Okay, it was conducted by some British researchers, and they actually conducted it in Paraguay. Okay, and they followed the teaching presence in the professional development of 40 English language teachers. Okay, and basically they looked at these programs that were delivered in this blended learning environment. Okay, and they looked at this community of inquiry. So these 40 English teachers were their community of inquiry in this blended learning environment. Okay. And through this, they suggested that the research suggested that the teaching presence and the cognitive presence have themselves become social. Okay. And the research says that the social presence is a major lever for engagement. Okay, sense making and peer support, so that social presence plays a major role. And they believe through their research it plays such a major role that the community of inquiry framework, okay, should be changed to show that social presence is more prominent than the other one. So they believe it's no longer equal, like the diagram shows there, but that social presence is more important than the other ones, or it's required more so than the other two. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into our breakout rooms. I am going to put a link here in the chat, okay, to a Google Docs presentation. You're going to find your slide that corresponds with your group. So everyone, Jeremy, Bobby, and Brianna, you are going to be going into group 3. Okay, so go into group 3 and go onto your Google slide that says group 3. It's going to be really quick. I'm just going to give you guys 2 minutes. So I want you to discuss if you feel that one element is more prominent than the other, and then write why you think that. So what's your defense? And if you can relate it to our work environment, that would be great. So I'm going to start the breakout rooms. You're going to see the little door with the green arrow. And I want you all to go into group 3, discuss this. I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes. I'm going to bring everybody back. So give me 1 second. I'm going to start the breakout groups here. You will see them pop up, and then you can go ahead and enter in through the door with the green arrows. So here we go, everyone. Bring up the Google slide link there and head to your breakout groups. Here they are starting. All right, everybody should be able to go into your breakout rooms now, and I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes. Okay, virtual listeners, if you could answer the questions on the slide and include it in your end of class summary, I would appreciate it. Okay. All right. So group Yeah, 3. Let's see what you had to say. Do you feel one element is more prominent than the other? No. And so anybody want to tell me your justification? Take the mic real quick and just discuss.
I believe that there is no one more presence important than the other. If anyone is more important, it's probably the teaching presence because it helps move everybody through the process just that much faster. But without any one presence, the framework falls in on itself.
Great job, Jeremy. I agree. I agree. I don't think that one can be more important than the other. Maybe in certain settings it can be. I especially think in the K through 12 setting or K through 6, the younger kids, really, really important to have that teaching presence. I can't imagine not having that, especially in some third graders. That would be insane. All right. So, just real quick, I would just love everybody's feedback for this so I can apply it to future classes. Did you like that activity? Happy smiley face if you liked it, sad face if you didn't, just so I know. And virtual listeners, if you could please put that in your end of class summary, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much for the feedback. Okay, so let's wrap this all up with a bow. So a community of inquiry, it does create change. Okay, that's the whole point. It's going to foster some critical thinking and creative thinking, and we're going to have that interdependence through the cognitive, social, and teaching presence. Okay, so it's really important that we keep that in mind when we are setting up these communities of inquiries, when we're creating our classes. It's really important to remember all the elements that we need to put together to really make these classes and these learning experiences wonderful. Okay, so thank you all very much. If you have any questions or you need to submit your end of class summary, please email me at the email address there on the screen. Thank you, everyone, and have a great evening. Bye-bye.